Welcome back to the Rise with Anita podcast, or welcome if you're new here. If you're new here, this is a space where ambition meets embodiment, where soul meets strategy, and where we don't talk about transformation, we learn how to actually live it. So today's conversation is going to be for the woman who has spent so much of her life waiting for the other shoe to drop. The one who finally gets the opportunity she's been praying for. And instead of feeling excited, she feels anxious. She feels nervous. The woman who receives the text that she's been waiting on, lands the dream client, hears the good medical report, gets the promotion, finally has her business where she wants it, and finally experiences a season where life feels peaceful, or like she already has the momentum she's been craving. But instead of it feeling like a sense of exhaling, she braces. If you've ever wondered, why does it, good news, make me nervous? I want you to know you're not alone. Sometimes the greatest sign that your nervous system has been living in survival mode isn't just how you respond to stress. It's actually how it responds when things feel safe. So today we're going to unpack why your body can mistake good news for danger and how you can begin teaching yourself that it's safe to receive the life that you want and you've been working hard to create. But before we dive in, I want us to take a moment to arrive together. So if you're able to do so, and you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, please gently feel your feet resting on the ground beneath you. Relax your shoulders. Release any tension you have in your jaw. Take a slow, deep breath through the nose for 4. We're going to hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, and release through the mouth slowly for 6. Again, we're going to breathe in for 4. Hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, and release through the mouth for 6. And I just want you to focus on arriving exactly as you are in this moment. See, I remember on multiple occasions in my own life, things would finally click. Things would be feeling like they're wonderful. That could look like, oh my God, I got a podcast guest I was hoping for. The speaking opportunities are rolling in. I'm getting to a breakthrough in my business. I'm having fulfilling relationships. And a deep part of me would hesitate to celebrate. My mind would immediately ask, so where am I gonna see something drop? Where in my life is something gonna go wrong? Or this season isn't going to last? And it wasn't even a conscious choice. And this is me being vulnerable because I study this, I teach this. And yet, if you look at my last year, I couldn't help but have moments of survival mode because it was just so much going on at once. It wasn't really a conscious decision. And it happens so quickly that we can put it under the frame of, oh, I'm just being realistic. I have a lot going on. But it wasn't really the reality of my experience necessarily. It was my nervous system that had learned to expect disappointment, to expect stress. And it wasn't necessarily the most comfortable in safety. So maybe you've experienced that too. And here's something I think everyone should know. Your nervous system isn't wired to choose happiness, to choose your dream life. It is wired solely to protect you. It is wired to keep you surviving, to keep you alive. And one of the ways it does that is by constantly scanning for what's familiar and what could go wrong. And it's not necessarily about familiarity. It's about, I'm looking for any danger that can come up. And even the good, when you're unused to it, when you're stepping out of that comfort zone, can actually feel like danger. So, if your life taught you that there have been moments of peace followed by chaos, if every time something had been good, immediately followed by something painful, your body starts connecting those experiences. Good news equals danger. Joy is going to equate to loss. Success is going to equate to pressure. Love is going to feel like abandonment. Not because these are things that are automatically going together. And in fact, if we look at proof outside of our own realities, we can find that that is not the actual truth. But our nervous systems have learned that pattern over and over again. So it's bracing. So if we think about it, our body isn't asking, oh, is this good? Is it finally clicking? It's actually asking, have we actually been here before? How did my past experience relate to this? And if the answer is yes, it responds to how your experience of the past was, rather than the experience of the present moment. And this is why you can consciously have the belief, oh, I deserve this. I get to have things that are going amazing. They're finally working out for me. While your body is still whispering, are we safe? Is this going to last? And those are two different conversations. One is happening in your mind, and the other is happening in your nervous system. It's happening in the body. For a long time, I had the experience because I also have very admittedly liked to be in control. So I thought, in a way, I was kind of preparing myself. If I anticipated upcoming disappointment, maybe the disappointment won't sting as much. If I stay guarded, maybe I won't get blindsided. I won't get caught off guard. If I don't celebrate too soon, maybe the failure or the loss of it wouldn't feel so painful. And here's something I realized. I was never really protecting myself. I was leaving moments of joy on the table, but before I ever fully chose to experience them, out of not knowing how to deal with that safety. See, I was rehearsing the pain instead of receiving the gift of the present moment. And I want to take that one back. I was literally rehearsing the pain before living in the present moment because I was operating on the past not in current circumstance of things clicking, of things feeling finally freeing, feeling the momentum, and allowing myself to appreciate that. So, if we think about it, our nervous system cannot know how to feel safe receiving things. This is especially true if you also came into the habit of not knowing how to allow yourself to receive. So it's not just good news you can't necessarily hold. It becomes compliments, support, love, money, allowing yourself to rest without guilt, success, visibility, healthy relationships. Because receiving requires something of us that we never really think about. Safety. So what do? I want you to take a moment, and the next time something great happens, something lights you up, I want you to notice your first response. Do you immediately look for the catch, or are you able to celebrate it? Do you start scanning for what's going wrong? Are you waiting for something in your external to come back and not let you be excited or focused on whatever it is that you are happy about? And instead of convincing yourself this isn't going to last, notice the thought. Take a breath. Pause. Look around the room. Scan. Don't get consumed with your thoughts. I want you to instead just take a moment to anchor into it. Anchor back into the body. Anchor back into the breath. Feel your feet on the floor just like we did when we first started this session. Remind yourself, I'm here, I'm present, I'm safe. Nothing is actually wrong in this moment, because healing isn't about convincing yourself that nothing difficult is ever going to happen, because that's part of the human experience. Life is still going to have its challenges. But how do you keep yourself regulated during those challenges? So, I want you to remember you're allowed to feel safe. You're allowed to receive. You are allowed to enjoy what is here in this moment without having to feel like you need to apologize for it. And I just want to take a moment here. When I say you are allowed, you don't need permission, but you need to give yourself the permission. Because how often do we block our own blessings? So today, the invitation isn't exactly to be someone who's celebrating all the wins and is happier instantaneously. Maybe it's actually to be someone who can actually stay present long enough to experience happiness, to experience joy when it arrives. Because so many of us have learned to stay in survival, but very few of us have learned to stay regulated when it comes to receiving. And maybe that's the next layer of your healing. Not chasing more, not doing more, just allowing yourself to fully feel the moments you worked so hard to create. So thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It is always appreciated. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs the reminder that they're not broken. They're just protecting themselves in a way that their nervous system has known. And if you haven't already, it would mean so much to me if you leave a rating or a review. It helps these conversations reach more women who are ready to stop living in survival and start coming home to themselves. Until next time, take a deep breath and be gentle with yourself. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next episode.